First of all, I would like to thank the mercy of God, great virtue of holy teachers, kindness of transmitters, lecturers, and all of you to give me this opportunity to share the topics in the answers to the truth. The answer of the truth was written by a Holy Qigong teacher. Holy Qigong teacher prepared 90 questions and answers for all of us in the book. So today we're going to talk about questions 39, 40, 41, 44, and maybe 46. Okay, you will take about 1 hour, roughly 1 hour. I'll try to keep everybody fresh. So we'll remember what we talk about today. First of all, we talk about question 39. What are the effects after one received Tien-Tao? What are the effects after one received Tien-Tao? After one received Tien-Tao, his right portal is pointed out, and consequently, his wisdom is opened up. Okay, so once the person received the Tien-Tao, holy teacher borrowed transmitter's hand to open our gate of first treasuries. So our right portal is connected to the heaven, and our wisdom is opened up. We're supposed to get more wisdom. Okay, whatever we do, we will get some wisdom from the God and Buddha. If one can sincerely act according to Tao, God forgives all sins and transfers he committed before. So here's Holy Qigong talk about if we can cultivate, propagate Tao sincerely according to Tao principles, and God will forgive us all the sins and mistakes we have made before. In previous life, could be in this lifetime. But in this case, we need to have enough merits and virtues. We need to have enough merits and virtue to offset all the karma, and God will forgive all of us. Mm-hmm. Thence one lives in harmony on the earth and can escape catastrophes and disasters. So, see, just because we receive the Tien-Tao, you see, one can live in harmony, in peace. Okay, we can escape a lot of tragedies because God and Buddha try to help us. Usually, they give us 2 to 3 years grace period for us to accumulate enough merits to offset all the karmas we have had in previous lives and this lifetime. So usually we got 2 to 3 years to accumulate merits. Upon death, he lives in peace, and his soul transcends the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, as well as avoids the judgment in the hell. So this is probably the most important statement. If we had to live a war one day, then we live in peace, and our spirits transcend the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. What does that mean? It means we avoid the reincarnation. We avoid the reincarnation. And then our name, we can avoid the judgment in the hell. Means because our name are removed in the hell when we receive Tao. And our name was registered in heaven. So that's a big preciousness of Tao. So we are very fortunate group to receive Tien-Tao. I remember one time Guan Yin Bodhisattva said, he said the most preciousness of received Tien-Tao is not just for us to avoid all the tragedies. The most important thing is for us to avoid the reincarnation, the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. That's the most important for us to receive Tien-Tao. The greatest effort of attending Tao is latter, transcending the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. So that's the greatest effect. Okay, the most important thing. Okay, we wish all the practitioners Tao to awake to Tao and accelerate their development so they can attain enlightenment and privilege. So this is a modern Holy Teacher trying to remind us. Okay, Holy Teacher want us to awaken to Tao. Okay, and then cultivate and propagate the Tao seriously. Then we can attain enlightenment. Okay, and can get a privilege, means have a positions in the heaven, in the absolutely heaven one day. In absolute heaven one day. So that's Holy Teacher hope we can get it. Okay, but it depends on all of us individually. It depends on all of us individually. So, but in this paragraph, talk about very important to avoid the reincarnation. Okay, yeah. So everybody should remember that. Yeah. Once we receive a Tien-Tao, so when we explain to people why they had to receive Tao, just we can explain to them because they can avoid the reincarnation, the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. Okay, we can explain to them to the point, important point. Second topic, item 40. Can efforts of receiving Tien-Tao be proven? Okay, how do we know that? Especially, I'm an engineer, so we always talk about evidence. And in the beginning, I did not believe Tien-Tao can send us to absolute heaven because I says in America we always no free lunch, so you got to earn it. But the Holy Teacher and all the Buddhas said, all of us have cultivated more than 3 lifetimes before this lifetime. That's why we can receive Tao. And then, in order to attend Dharma class, we had to cultivate more than 5 lifetimes before this life. So it's not just happened instantly because we have waited for this moment for so long. Okay, we have been connected for more than 60,000 years, but we don't remember that. Holy Teacher also say if one can practice Tao, his virtues touches God. He's blessed when alive, so that the dangers and catastrophe will not endanger them. So that's beautiful thing, right? If we really practice Tao, we have a lot of virtues and merits and touch the God and Buddhas. Then God and Buddha try to protect us to avoid the dangers, avoid the tragedies. Example of such can be compiled into endless list. So I think a lot of people, a lot of Tao members have their own stories. Even myself, we all went through these examples of this situation before. So everybody can tell us what they went through, they have gone through for themselves. So we all have different kind of story, a true story for everybody, okay? Upon death, he can transcend the cycle of the birth and death and rebirth, okay? So that's the other thing we just keep talking about. So this is pretty important. And Holy Teacher said that the proofs of effects can be provided in 2 ways. So we always talk about for a lot of people who has a lot of affinity with Buddhas, it's very easy for them to believe. But some people like me, I'm engineer, talk about evidence. And we talk about the proofs of effect can be provided in 2 ways. That's what Holy Teacher said. The first one is the soul who transcends the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth can be sent to God's altars to relate it to its experience to the mortals. What does that mean? Means we can bring the spirits who passed away and who transcended the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. Bring the holy teacher or Buddhas can bring the spirit back to the temple to unite, reconnect it with all of us, to tell us what they are doing, what their titles, and all the experience they have. So those, because our Buddha nature will not die. Our Buddha nature will not die. Yes, it just goes to different place after we passed away, okay? But in the Tao temple, we can bring the spirits back to verify that. But we need a lot of merits to do that, okay? Yeah. The other ways is to exempt the cause of such person. The person die. You can check on the body. You can check on the body. You will know where he or she goes. Okay? We can check the body. I remember before I believed Tien-Tao, I checked about 7, 8 dead bodies before I really think it's true. Okay? So we are very, I think today, usually when the person passed away, transmitter would check for all of us. Normally we do that. And then what do we check? We're going to find out next. Okay. Holy teacher said that if a Buddhist monk or a Taoist prince leave his course with a loose joints and elastic body, he displayed the sign of perfecting his kung fu and practice. So those people, because they have a loose joint and then the body is soft, it's very flexible. Body is flexible, means he had a good ending in his life. However, among thousands of monks and priests, only few can attain enlightenment as such. Only a few of them can get it. Okay? Only a few of them will happen to them. But usually when they cultivate so well with merits, where do they go? They go to temporary heaven. Okay? Body is soft, but they go to temporary heaven. Unless they receive Tien-Tao, they cannot go to absolute heaven. Okay, that's holy teacher mentioned about it. Okay. For all those who received Tien-Tao through the enlightened teachers with Tianming, regardless of their virtues and merits, they will go with a smile on their face. And the course do not stiffen in the winter and decade with a far smile in the summer. For the souls left the body through the right portal. So this is very important information when we try to bring people to receive Tao. Some people have a good affinity with Buddhas. So once we tell them about this information, they will believe, they will receive Tao. That's why in Taiwan, in southern Taiwan, a lot of senior female members, once they heard about this one, they came to the temple to receive Tao. So depending on how much affinity they have with Buddhas. So Holy Teacher talk about here is whoever received Tao, Tien-Tao through the enlightened masters, enlightened teachers with Tianming, with a mandate. Okay, gotta have mandate. That's the most important thing to receive Tao with mandate. Okay, because the transmitter need to have mandate. Okay, then Holy Teacher borrowed transmitter's hand to open the gate of our right portal, the first treasuries. So Holy Teacher said, regardless of their virtues and merits, they all go with a smile on their face, and then corals do not stiffen. Means because usually we will have some merits and virtues, but may not enough. But when the person passed away, he will go with a smile, very peaceful, okay, on their face. It's like a sleeping, okay? Then the dead body is always flexible in the winter. Then decay means rot, okay? With a false smile in the summer. Because when you put a dead body on the outside for 5 days, 10 days, you can smell it. You have that smell. But whoever received Tao, they will not happen. The body always flexible. I remember my father-in-law who passed away, and then we went back to Taiwan. It's about 20 plus days later, because by the time we get there, it's over 20 days, 22 days. Then we can check that the body always flexible, doesn't matter how long. As long as the person who received Tien-Tao and always do good things, they will happen. Okay, that's why holy teachers mention it. But the most important thing is the spirits let the body had to be through our fourth treasury, the right portal. So that's the most important thing, okay? So the person needs to receive Tao. They make all the difference. Okay? So now we know if the person received Tao, do the good thing, they receive the Tien-Tao and do the good thing, what happened? The person leaves the world, the body will be very flexible. As long as the body come out, the spirit come out through the right portal, okay? But if we don't receive Tien-Tao, what happened? Because the spirit cannot come out through the fourth treasuries, the gate of the first treasury. That means going to come out from eyes, ears, mouth, and other places. So it will be different situation, okay? In some cases, the cores stay electric for several days in winter, even send out fragrance. So you see that in this case, the body going to be flexible and soft for a few days, okay, in the winter. Okay, even you can smell sweet smell. Cases as such are numerous and have been proven from children to elderly. So this happened a lot. Yeah, because I remember one time I was in New Jersey with a transmitter room, and we went out to propagate the Tao, and this person was pretty sick, and then we can see that he's in very bad shape. So we transmitter room did prepare the ceremony for the person to receive Tao. And then 1 week later, the person, because he was pretty bad situation, he passed away. So we went to his funeral service the week later, and we can see the different body, different face on the person. Very peaceful, very in harmony. So it's totally different from the week before. So it's amazing, okay? Mm-hmm. In light of these proofs provided by the corruptible bodies, there is no doubt that the soul of those who receive Tien-Tao must have gone to heaven. So we check the body. We will know where he went to or she went to. Okay, so that's why it's interesting. It's just small evidence that God and Buddha try to give to us, so that when the person passed away, you can check the body immediately to find out where he or she goes. Of course, If the one acts against ethic, against Tao principle, after he has received 10 Tao, what happened? This kind of proofs may not materialize. Means what may not happen, may not appear. So that's why very critical when after we receive 10 Tao, we need to keep doing good things to create enough merits and virtues. We don't want to against ethic, against Tao principles. Otherwise, what we talk about here, it will not happen to the person. Okay, so that's very, very important for all of us. Okay, so always remember that. Yeah, got to keep doing good things, accumulate enough good merits and virtues. Then when we go back, yeah, we will have enough merit to see our spiritual mother, Ta. Okay, next one, question 41. How did you prepare about a total is 90 questions and 90 answers in a book. So anyone try to get a book, the answer to the truth. This is very, very important, a very, very practical book. In one side in Chinese, the other side in English. Okay, yeah. Should one become a vegetarian after receiving 10 Tao? Should one become a vegetarian after receiving 10 Tao? Holy Teacher said, it's of the utmost importance to be a vegetarian. After one receives 10 Tao, the true self is pure and clean. So, because very important to be a vegetarian, because our true self is pure and clean. To retain such purity, one should not allow any contamination. Okay, so the reason we try to be vegetarian, we try to make sure our true self is pure and clean. So we try to retain this purity. So we try to not allow any contamination. So that's very important. Contamination will become impure. Okay, if the true self is contaminated, it becomes lost. It becomes impure. Okay, to restore its true self to its original brightness, the practitioner of Tao must filter out all impurities. Why? Because you gotta know when we go back, you want to go back to absolute heaven. All the saints and Buddhas, they have all they are very pure, innocence, okay, very bright. So we want to go to that state when we go back. Otherwise, when we go back there, we need to continue to cultivate. And then to go back to heaven to cultivate, it's very, very slow. This process is very slow. At that time, we don't have the physical body. For example, give you one example. For example, we try to learn how to take a bath. It takes us 15 minutes to learn it, 15, 20 minutes to learn how to take a bath. But however, a lot of spirits, they went back to heaven. Some people take 2 years, 6 years, 7 years to learn how to take a bath. Do you know why? Because by the time we don't have physical body, we only have a spirits with sense of physical body. So when we go there, try to learn how to bow, and we are not pure enough, then when we take a bow, we keep spending. The body they keep spending. We cannot control the position to bow in the heaven. So Buddha's always taught us, Holy Teacher bring the temple host, the link came back to tell us everybody had to learn all those stuff when we still alive. Okay, because by the time we go there, it's hard to correct merits, and then it's very slow to learn all those stuff. Okay, So we need to learn with some we're still alive in the temple. Okay. The impurities consist of onion family, garlic family, leeks, shallot, and tobacco. Among the vegetables, okay? So those 5 items in the vegetable. And all animals such as poultry, meat, and seafood. Okay, we'll talk about this one next. Because the onion will affect the chi and energy of our kidney. Okay? Garlic will affect the chi and energy of our heart. Leeks will affect the chi and energy of our liver. Shallot will affect the chi and energy of our spleen. Tobacco will affect the chi and energy of our lungs. I remember in previous company, my boss was talking to me about, he said, garlic is very good to our body and health. And then, however, we do not know garlic will affect the chi and energy of our heart. So that's why we try to avoid those 5 items. So remember, onion affect kidney, garlic affect heart, leeks affect liver, shallot affect spleen, and then tobacco affect lung. Okay, so that's what Buddha taught us. And all animals such as poultry, that's like chicken, turkey, ducks, all those are poultries, and meat and seafood. And keep going down, the Holy Teacher will explain why. Okay. The onion family and the garlic family and the tobaccos carry strong odors and will damage the foundation of 5 organs: heart, liver, spleen, lung, and kidney. The Holy Teacher talk about it. Said this because the strong odor with the smells will damage our foundation, the energy and chi. Okay, we don't see that, but it will affect that. Okay. Next one also very important stuff. All animals belong to yin. It's very negative. Okay, energy. Okay, and if eaten, will harm the soul, which is pure yang. Okay, everybody knows all the saints of Buddha, they try to maintain 100% yang energy, positive energy. All the ghosts in the hell, they are 100% yin, negative energy. Human beings are 50% yang, 50% yin. Okay, so we try to avoid, all animal belongs to yin. We try to avoid that. Okay, so if we eat them, what happens? Will harm, will hurt our spirit, which is pure yang. Okay, our Buddha nature are pure yang. Okay, in order to retain the God's kingdom, we must restore the true self of Buddha nature to pure yang, all positive energy. Okay, no negative. Okay, you want to get there. So that's why try to avoid those 5 families in the vegetables and also animals and seafood too. It is to our advantage to avoid taking in any substance that are in and safeguard whatever yang that is already in us. So that's very important. So trying to maintain the yang, the positive in ourselves, avoid the yin to come into our body. Okay, so and the other thing is Buddha always talk about that. Okay, not just Holy Teacher. We also, when we don't eat the meat of animals or seafood, we cut down the bad affinities with all those animals. We don't want to have a bad affinity with them in the future. So we try to cut down that affinity with all the animals. So because it's always cause and effect. Whatever we do, there's consequence. Okay? We eat them, we have to pay back one day. And there's no free lunch. They always have to pay back. Needlessly to say, God is benevolent and gives lives to this world. So as a practitioner of Tao, we should model after him, avoid taking lives for the pleasures of our tastes. So God is so kind, give the lives in this world. Then we don't want to what? As we are like Buddha. One thing we all have to remember, we are all Buddha reborn, all of us, every one of us. Okay? I remember we went to the Ohio or Iowa, even Texas here. All those Nepalese, okay, all those Nepalese, they only remember one thing in the beginning. When you talk to them, they always say they were Buddha reborn. But Buddha always told us the same thing. Say all of us, every one of us, were Buddha reborn. We forgot. We just forgot. So we need to be like God, so kind to all the animals, all the lives. We don't want to kill them. Okay? So we want to learn from the God and Buddhas, avoid taking lives just for our because our pleasure of taste. Usually when we eat the food, because of a lot of sauces, then we eat them without sauce, it will be very hard to eat. Okay? And then Holy Teacher said, if one cannot exclude the onion family, the garlic family, tobaccos, and animals from one diet immediately, one still should attempt a gradual approach. Means you can do slowly. Okay, you will not be able to do overnight. No, it's hard. Okay, even for myself, I went through the learning process. Do little thing each day. Okay, yeah. So Holy Teacher said, keep this goal in mind. One should start with the vegetarian diet on the 1st and 15th of each month in Chinese lunar calendar, and slowly extend the diet to other days of the month. Okay, so some people do 1st and 15th of the month in Chinese lunar calendar, and then some people do one day a week. In Taiwan, they say Monday is no meat day. That's how they call it, no meat day on Monday. Okay, if you go to any supermarket, they call no meat day on Monday. Okay, very popular. Or some people say, I want to start vegetarian diet on every morning meal, only for breakfast. So every breakfast, I will start without meat or seafood. But much easier, maybe only breakfast. We can eat bread or oatmeal, whatever we want, but try not to eat meat and seafood in the breakfast. So we can do that in the morning too. So it's up to individual to try out, okay, to start. But Holy Teacher suggests us eventually one can adjust to full vegetarian diet and maintain it for life. Because once we maintain that, we can do that for 1 year, 2 years. Our senior transmitter gene will let us make a vegetarian vow, and then we need to maintain it for our lives. Okay, but to make a vow is a big difference. It's a big difference. Let me explain to why. One time, Holy Teacher in California Dharma class, Holy Teacher said, if we don't make a vegetarian vow, we do a lot of donation to work in the temple, or maybe we make a donation to the charity in the temple. Holy Teacher only receive 50% of our donations if we don't make a vegetarian vow. Holy Teacher said our creditors, who we owe in previous lives or this lifetime, will take 50% of our donation before the donation got to our Holy Teacher. So the Holy Teacher said he only received about 50% of them. So that's why Holy Teacher encouraged us to be a vegetarian. One day we can make vegetarian vow. Very important, yeah, because we lost a lot of credit, merits, because we are not vegetarian and we don't make vegetarian vow. Okay, so Holy Teacher share with us about that, and good to know. Number 44. Okay, even though Tien-Tao is true, why are there so many non-believers? Why are there so non-believers? I remember even in the beginning, I did not believe either, even myself, because I always said, it's not that easy, because we went through the Tao ceremony, and then you be cultivated and propagate Tao, you can go to heaven, absolute heaven. I said, no way, Jose. I said, no way, Jose. But you know what Holy Teacher and all the Buddha said? Do you know why? Holy Teacher and all Qigong Buddha and other Buddha said, because we have cultivated so many lifetimes before this life. We have cultivated so many lifetimes before this life. It's not just, we only see now. We don't know about the past lives. We don't know what happened in our past. But Holy Teacher always remind us, we have cultivated so many lifetimes before this moment. So we have been waiting for this moment for so long. That's why we have opportunity to receive Tao, to receive Tien-Tao. And the Holy Teacher is going to talk about why we also can receive Tien-Tao. Holy Teacher said, whether a person will believe in Tien-Tao when he hears and hear, it depends on the collective merits of his ancestors and his own foundation wisdoms. Okay, so it depends. So it's not just if the person can receive Tao or not, unless the person has cultivated more than 3 lives before this lifetime. And also depend on collective, okay, merits of his ancestors. That's very important, not just because the person's own merits, also his ancestors' merits. Otherwise, the person had no chance to receive that. One time I was in Pennsylvania. There are 12 people was ready to receive that. This went back about maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Then we went through all the ceremony. Then 11 people already went through the receive Tao. The last one, she pushed my hands away. Did not want to receive Tao. And I didn't know why. I tried to find out. But at the moment, she didn't receive Tao. But after the ceremony, I found out she had some mental problems. She had some mental problems. So she could not receive Tao. But we did not see from outside. Okay, the family did not tell us. But later on, we found out she cannot receive Tao because her creditors will not let her receive Tao in this case. So even I remember we went back a few times, but she never had a chance to receive Tao. So it's very interesting until we went through ourselves. Otherwise, we were not. We always heard about people talk about it. Okay, but I even went through myself and find out, wow, it's interesting. Okay, so unless we have a lot of merits, and also merits from for ourselves and also from our ancestors, otherwise we have no chance to receive Tao. So Holy Teacher always taught us when we try to bring people to receive Tao, we need to follow the affinity. If the person we talk to them about the Tao, and be their good friends and talk about Tao. If the person is willing to receive Tao, we can bring them to receive Tao. But we will not force them to receive Tao. We have to follow the affinities of the person. Okay? Holy Teacher talk about here. If one has faith in God, he will follow Tao earnestly. Okay, if the person really cultivate before, the person has affinity and confidence in God, he will follow the Tao seriously. Okay, those who do not have faith, have confidence, will not practice Tao, even they are coerced to do so. Okay, so if you don't have faith, don't have affinity, don't have confidence, will not practice that Tien-Tao, even they are forced to do so. Okay. It is difficult for those who do not have faith to receive Tao, to this Tien-Tao. Only the family with collective merits from their ancestors will give birth to the children who will receive Tien-Tao and practice Tao. Interesting, right? So this is also affect in the family. Family will correct, because when children was born in this family, yeah, very important, they can receive Tao. They receive Tien-Tao and practice Tao. It depends on their ancestors and parents. Okay, besides their own merits. Okay. Holy teacher try to make one example here. This can be illustrated by the following parable. There's a mountain rich in gold ore. That means gold mine, okay? The 70s is willing to grant mining privilege to anyone, willing to give the right of this gold mine to anyone. The commoners who lack wisdom think that gold cannot be found in stones and take no actions to this opportunity. And what happened? The wise ones act immediately and fire claims. Soon the output of the mines rise to the 1,000 ounces of gold a day. So it means we have this opportunity to find a gold mine in Tao, but we don't take seriously. We think no way you can receive Tao, go back to absolute heaven. Nobody would, we don't believe that. Then we lose these opportunities. Okay, so the wise one will find out. Wow, that gold mine to receive Tao is like find a gold mine. Okay, Holy Teacher said all the wise ones become rich instantly. By the time the commoners realize that there is indeed gold in the ore, they rush to find the claim. By then, what happened? It's already too late. And for the wise ones have claimed all the mines. Okay? And then, as much as the commons regret, there's nothing they can do now. The same thing, the Tao. Tao is that gold mine here. So the God is waiting, give us opportunity to receive Tao, to propagate Tao. However, we don't think it's feasible, it's possible for us to receive Tao to go back to absolute heaven. Then what happened? Whoever do not receive Tao will regret in the future life, in the lives. Okay? Because if we don't receive Tao in this lifetime, we don't cultivate and propagate to gain enough merits and virtues, we're going to continue to reincarnate. We're going to continue to reincarnate. So we are sorry. Holy Teacher wrote one song. We are the most fortunate group in this world. We are the most fortunate group because we can receive Tao and cultivate and propagate Tao. So we are very fortunate and also have this opportunity to learn together from each other in the class. The more we learn today, when we go back to heaven, we don't have to spend so much time to learn. We already have ability to be there. So that's why there's one Tao member in Tongyi, our headquarters, Tongyi Gong. He said one time, okay, because he's a pharmacist and he went through a lot of pain. So every day, because so much pain in his body. But he's doing the gather the affinities to not raise a single thought almost every moment. According to what he said, if he practiced 10 years, most of us had to practice 50 years, cultivate and practice 50 years. And all those invisibles, whoever passed away already, they had to learn 2,000 years. 2,000 years. You see how many times? 40 times. So whatever we learn today, you can make much less efforts when we go back to heaven in a moment. But if we don't learn today, we're going to spend much more time and effort to learn that. By the time you will be too late and we will regret. Okay? So that's good time to learn together for all of us. The parable illustrated the saying. Okay, this is a very interesting statement. Okay, as Holy Teacher said. The blessed will be born along with saints, so he can learn Tao. The unblessed will be born when Tien-Tao is not available. So the blessed one, the fortune group, like all of us, will be born when the saints will be born along with the saints together. So we can receive Tao, we can learn, we can cultivate and propagate Tao. So we are very fortunate group. But the unblessed one will be born when Tien-Tao is not available. So by the time they were born, there's no Tao available for them to receive, to cultivate or propagate. Okay, that's why one thing Holy Teacher said one time. I heard the words pretty sad. Holy Teacher said, if we don't receive Tao, cultivate and propagate Tao in this lifetime, when we came back to reborn, Holy Teacher may not be there with all of us. Holy Teacher may not be there with all of us. Okay, we may not have a Tao available to receive, to cultivate, or to propagate. It's pretty sad when Holy Teacher said that. Okay, so in this lifetime, we want to go back, but we want to bring our loved ones, family members, colleagues, neighbors, parents, children, relatives, whoever have an affinity with us and with Tao, we want to bring them together with all of us to go back. Okay. This is the last topic we will talk about today. Okay. What are the meaning of predestined to encounter and the chance to participate? Okay. What is predestined to encounter means? Means what are the meaning? Who has affinities? Okay. Chance of participate means to have a position and titles in the heaven. To understand the meaning of predestined to encounter and the chance to participate, one must first examine the cumulative merits of a person, depending on how much merit we have from previous lives and this life. If the person is Yan Fozi, so the merit is very important in the past life and this life. Not just our own merits, our ancestors' merits too. Okay. Holy Teacher said that if a person's Yan Fozi, what is Yan Fozi? Yan means the true self, original from King's Garden. That's Yuan, the true self, originally from King's Garden. Okay, Yuan. Fo means Buddha, means all the true selves have Buddha nature. All the true self have Buddha nature. Zhi means the children, means all the true self are children of God. All the true self are the children of God. Okay, so we now know Yuan means Yuan for sometimes people call Yuan Zi. Okay, they skip the middle one. Okay, if a person is Yuan force, then it's a children of God. Okay, then his true self is not completely covered. He will develop and strengthen his faith as soon as he heard Tao. So are we them? Are we one of them? Yes. Okay, hopefully. Okay. Yeah, if our true self is not completely covered, then we will develop and strengthen. Okay, improve our faith and confidence and affinities as soon as we heard about that. As soon as we heard about that. When his faith develops and strengthens, means that his confidence and his affinity with Buddha, okay, and God, he will practice Tao. This is the true meaning of predestined to encounter Tao. Okay, that's all of us are here. That's why we have a lot of faith, confidence, affinity with God and Buddha. That's why we can encounter the Tao. Okay, means we have a good affinity with God and Buddha. Not everybody has a good, there are three kind of people. Three kind of people. Buddha cannot help. They cannot receive. The one is who don't believe, who don't have faith. Okay. Second type is who don't have affinity with Buddha and God. The third time is the person doesn't have vows, then he cannot receive Tao or cultivate and propagate Tao. So to make a vow, it's not just this lifetime. Could be in past lives. We already make a vow. We just remake those vows again. So we make those vows when we are in heaven. The faith, the phrase, chance to participate really means privilege, means the title, the positions. Okay. He who is predestined to encounter Tao will hold fast to Tao in his heart. He will not relax at all in building his merits, for he is afraid of falling behind others. Here, he means he and she both. Okay, just means if the person has affinity with God and Buddha and Tao's, will hold fast. Means we learn the Tao, cultivate, propagate the Tao seriously. Will not relax in building his merits. Means the merits is most important things. Okay, and because he's worried about falling behind. This kind of person eventually will receive Tao or attend Tao. Okay, once he attend Tao, God will ordain him privilege according to his merit. So one day, when we leave this world, we all have to go one day. Doesn't matter how rich, how poor, how wealthy we are, or how good position we have today. But we all have to go one day. But the most important things when we leave this world, we will bring our merits and big karma with us. At that time, we want to have more good karmas, good merits than big karmas. Okay, but God will give us positions according to our merits and big karma. Okay, so one day we go back, we want to have a good position there. Okay, and the other choice, people say, okay, you got motives to go back, get position. We have a choice there. When we go back, we still can make Buddha vow to come down again if we want to. But at that moment, we can choose which place we want to reborn, which family we want to reborn. and which location we want to reborn. Usually we will choose the place we can receive Tao. We will 100% want to make sure we can receive Tao again and cultivate. We'll go to the family, have opportunity to receive Tao, to cultivate and propagate Tao. But a lot of people go back there and then they have to come down again because they are karma. But at that moment, most people don't have a choice. Don't have a choice where they want to reborn. We don't want to be in that situation. Okay, that's important. So the God will order him, will give the positions according to his merits. That's very important. Okay, so we need to continue to improve ourselves. The person is both predestined to encounter Tao, has a chance to participate in holy mission of God. So we will have affinity with God and Buddha and Tao, then we will have a position one day in the absolute heaven. That's the ideal situation we want to be here. On the other hand, he who knows Tao but is not willing to learn is not predestined to encounter. And he who learns but does not practice tenaciously will not have chance to participate. What does that mean? Means who is not willing to learn, okay? Then it's not predestined to encounter. Will not have affinity with Tao, with God, and Buddha. Then he learns, but he did not practice very seriously. Will not have a chance to participate. Will not have a good position in heaven. Will not have a position in heaven. Okay, that's very important. Okay, so since we already received Tao, we want to cultivate, propagate the Tao seriously. Don't let this opportunity pass by. You will not come back second time, third time. No, we don't want to find out like common people find out the gold mine is here for us, but we did not claim the privilege, and we will regret one day. In this lifetime, I always said the most important thing is to receive Tao, to cultivate and propagate Tao. Nothing else is more important than that. So Holy Teacher said, only important thing for all of us today, to be the Buddha one day. Nothing else, if something else not related for us to become a Buddha, the other things, don't take it too seriously. Okay, so Holy Teacher remind us, try to take this item seriously for us to become a Buddha again. Okay. There's an old saying. Okay, a lot of old people give us advice. Old saying: he who will not learn in childhood possess no skill when grown. He who will not learn in adulthood worries as he age. Means when we are young, we don't have a skill. What happened? When we grow up, so when we are young, we don't learn. When we grow up, we do not have skill. The other thing is when we are adult, when we are now, we don't learn. When we get older, we worry, we concerned. We don't have we didn't learn anything. We waste all the time. So next one, Holy Teacher said, so one should never say that there is a tomorrow or next year as one's excuse for refusal to learn and waste today and this year. So we should not say, well, there's tomorrow. There's always next year for us to give us excuse to refuse to learn. We will waste our time now. I remember there's one, I'm in Texas now. We have a friend here, and then their children, very young. She's a pharmacist. It's not 20, it's 20 plus years, not even 30 years old yet. And she got COVID-19. she got COVID-19 and she passed away. We never thought about it. That her parents is so upset and right now every day, so sad, because we never thought so young people could get COVID-19 and pass away. Yeah, so that's happened. Could happen to anyone in the world. So we try to cherish the moment. Don't wait this tomorrow or next year. Holy Teacher try to remind us to learn to receive the Tao, to cultivate, to propagate Tao now. Bring our loved one to receive Tao. With each passage of time, less time is left. One surely will regret his inaction later. So Holy Teacher said, the time passed, and what happened? The less time is left. So we don't want to regret because our inaction later on. The wise people don't wait. Okay, don't wait. When he realized he should have acted, at that time, a practitioner of Tao will not do what they will regret. So Holy Teacher taught us, because we are the wise ones, okay, we will not do what we will regret. Okay. Besides, by the time one realizes and regret, it really is too late to catch up. By the time one realizes and regret, it's too late to catch up. So if we have time, receive Tao, cultivate, propagate Tao, accumulate merits and virtue, we can go back to avoid the reincarnation of the cycle of the birth, death, and rebirth. Why not? We have nothing to lose. We have nothing to lose. Only things we need to receive Tao, cultivate, and propagate the Tao. Okay? So everyone, so we have to remember that. And in the meantime, we also remember that the five vegetables we don't want to eat that affect our organs, energy, and chi. Okay? So that's all we have today.